Hello and welcome to 6th Metagame Monday for Series 10, where I take a look at popular team archetype and explain how its sets work, how it matches up against other teams in the metagame, and how to counteract it. So today I prepared something which other people call innovative, but I think it's getting pretty popular on Ladder right now. So basically the idea is set up Sun with Groudon, get a Cherrim in with Flower Gift, which for those unaware raises attack and special defense by 50%, and you can actually switch into some other Pokemon like Entei or Dragapult while the Cherrim is on the field, or you could, for example, lead Groudon Entei and switch out the Groudon into Cherrim. Cherrim activates its Flower Gift, and then Entei gets Sun, Stab, and Flower Gift boosts to its fire attacks, and it's just gonna hit like a truck. Your Liners is just gonna disintegrate regardless of whatever you do, and he's gonna outspeed you. That speed is brutal. Unless you're really lucky, you're not outspeeding that Entei. So that's basic like idea what you do with this Cherrim. Now that's not only Pokemon you just take advantage of Flower Gift with. You got the Dragapult with Choice Band. Outrage might look weird, but I'm gonna explain later. It's just kind of like a nice generalist move. You can use in some situations kind of freely. Just get some knockout and you're just gonna be fine. And that's kind of the idea of Outrage. But Dragon Dot, U-turn, Final Force are all other great moves, especially the Dragon Dot, since it's kind of a spread move. U-turn with Choice Band and Flower Gift boost is just ridiculously powerful. So there are going to be people which won't appreciate that. Yeah, and that's basically the idea. Cherrim actually popularly runs a max speed, max attack variant with Solar Blade, because remember, Flower Gift also boosts the attack of Cherrim and special defense of Cherrim by 50%. So you can use Solar Blade from like 168 attack and it hits like a truck, man. Help again is nice to just help out Entei to get additional stab, like 4th stab boost. That's great fun. Pollen Puff is just simply better heal pulse. Heal pulse just heals by 50%, but Pollen Puff can be used as a weapon against grass types, which otherwise wall out Cherrim. And you can also just, for example, if a Mingus uses Rage Powder, you can kind of like damage it instead of healing it. So, actually, excuse me. That would be for some Follow Me user, because Cherrim actually ignores Rage Powder. That's kind of cool. And Protect is kind of the no-brainer here. Now, Focus Sash is kind of a weird thing to use on Cherrim, but I've seen many people use it for great success. It's a really annoying item on Cherrim. It prolongs the duration of Flower Gift that's on the field, and it's just kind of like, oh yeah, I can take Flare Blitz now. I can take +2 Moonblast, I can take Behemoth Blade and still provide the fantastic boost to my teammates, and it's just kind of like nice to... Oh yeah, and if you're, for example, switching into Cherrim, it's kind of like safe kind of item to have. You just will guarantee the survival. Even if something like Groudon takes kind of a while to just get the attack off, you will get the Flower Gift boost towards the Precipice Blades. Now, the item on Groudon is also kind of like matter of opinion. I've seen a lot of people use Life Orb. I think White Herb is kind of nice, since it allows you to just simply ignore the Intimidate. If opponent switches the Incineroar to counteract it, you will immediately get the attack back, and you will just one-shot them back with Precipice Blades unless they have a lot of defense investment. But a lot of Incineroars have a lot of special defense investment, unlike the only exception that puts... In all these videos, you see like Incineroar getting a lot of defense. Also, this is a rarity. I like to run max defense Incineroar. Just watch a few of my previous videos and you're gonna see like how much I like that. I really just like taking Surging Strikes and Close Combat from me in Shell. So you will just scale them with Precipice Blades, especially if there's Cherrim. That's just a guaranteed knockout, even with max defense or something. Heat Crash is an amazing move. It's kind of like a new move Groudon gets. It didn't get chance to use it before, because Heat Crash fails on the Dynamax Pokemon otherwise, and it's kind of like a bad move done. Swords Dance is just kind of like a setup move. You can use the 3 turns to set up. If there's going to be a passive position against like Regieleki, that's a free Swords Dance for you if you need that extra boost to push through Pokemon like Tapu Fini. And Protect is a no-brainer. You just want it on every Pokemon you can get it to. Now you see a lot of speed on this. I use that just so we can outspeed stuff like Zapdos, Rillaboom with Wood Hammer guaranteed. I think I got paranoid at one point against Wood Hammers with Rillaboom. You can definitely run a lot less speed, but yeah, you can just run like this. But actually, what's the secondary purpose of this? Oh yeah, Tailwind. You don't outspeed Regieleki, so... Oh, you do outspeed Scarf Entei with Tailwind boost from Whimsicott, so that's kind of nice, but you need only like this much investment. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not sure what did I do with this special defense investment. Let's actually calc this. I might as well just calc whatever it's doing on the go. So my Spider senses tell me not Primal Groudon. That is still a guaranteed one-shot on Groudon, so I'm not really sure what was I doing now. Maybe Ludicolo Grass Knot, but no one uses Ludicolo or the Venusaur right now, so I'm really not sure what the EV spread is for. So you know what, let me just take it more logically. You can just run something like this on, in all honesty. Like, why not? With more HP, you can take more Grassy Glides from Rillabooms, and with this speed investment, you outspeed Scarf Entei and Tailwind, and with this attack investment, you get Breakpoint here. You see, we got 2 extra attack points for 8 EVs, so that's kind of nice. Right, we talked about Groudon enough. Let's get into the Entei. So choice, actually, that's wrong set yet again. Crunch is for Calyrex Shadow Rider, which you outspeed with Choice Scarf. Stopping Tantrum is for the Fire types and Nihilego. Flare Blades is to actually, if you don't have a Sun Boost, Flare Blades is the only way you can actually munch out Zacian. Sacred Fire from Choice Scarf Entei just simply doesn't knock it out. Flare Blades does though, so keep Flare Blades on. Also, it's kind of more accurate and guaranteed way of finishing off games, so consider that as well. We're running max speed, max attack, so we outspeed Jolly, Choice Scarf, or Urshifu. I just really don't like just taking Surging Strikes from that Urshifu and just being undersped, so... it's a matter of opinion though. A lot of people use Adamant Scarf Entei, but if I was you, I would probably use Jolly Scarf Entei just so you outspeed that extra few Pokemon under Tailwind. Dragapult is kind of an oddball here. Actually, it's like whenever you see, I think most people will go off from Wolfie's team, which he used in Players Cup 25th Anniversary Invitational, or whatever was the name of the competition, which didn't have Dragapult, but reality is a lot of people on ladder are using that Dragapult. A lot of them. Maybe they're like Life Orb. Sometimes I have even seen like Velo's Dragapults. But Choice Band variant with Clay Body fulfills my purpose, and that's to destroy Sandy's team. So, similar Sanamito's team is very dangerous to any Groudon team, and this Dragapult just takes care of that team perfectly. It just gives us survivable matchup against it. Dragonauts is again great to just deal with Tornadoes and Kyogre at the same time. With this special defense investment, you take Choice Scarf, Timid, Ice Beam from Kyogre, almost guaranteed. Outrage is just whenever you just want to hit something on the field for great damage. U-Turn is great for Weavile and a positioning advantage, and Phantom Force is something like for Lunellas, for example. Or when you just want to kind of like waste turn of the opponent, maybe, just while being in a Shadow Realm. It's really just mostly anti-Kyogre weapon. Now, most of people are using actual Trick Room with Stack Attack, using Trick Room Stack Attack to prove their point with Groudon, but I decided to go a little bit more unconventional way with Tailwind, which allows me to make use of Entei and Dragapult in much more efficient way than if I would use, for example, Trick Room mode. Now I got Okaberry because Focus Sash is on Cherrim already. You can swap the two items, honestly. Okaberry, Cherrim, and Focus Sash Whimsicott just sound fine as well to me. It's your choice. Prankster to boost the status moves. Cotton Spore, Tailwind are... Cotton Spore is for Tailwind mirrors. Tailwind is just for non-Tailwind mirrors, when you just want to increase the speed of Groudon, for example. Taunt is great to shut down Trick Room if we'll need ever to, and Moonblast is just a great stab move. Again, this Whimsicott is EV'd to take the Ice Beam from Geiger, almost guaranteed, so teammates Choose Scarf Ice Beam does not really worry you. And last but not least is Incineroar on this team. It's basically your basic Intimidate Pokemon. It gives us additional better matchup against Trick Room, which is already kind of poor, but oh well. Dynamax Registeel. Nice command, Devil Bluffet. But basically gives us like better matchup against the Trick Room. And Lunala as well, because of the Darkest Lariat or Snarl. You can also run like Snarl, Incineroar to just kind of make the Xerneas matchup a little bit better. Citrus Berry is a great recovery move, item. Intimidate is just no-brainer. Fake Out, Flare Blitz for stab, and momentum gaining Parting Shot is just amazing annoyance tool. That's just unparalleled in the entire metagame. And EV spread on Incineroar, we don't really need it to defeat anything specific. For example, Calyrex, Shadow plus Mienshao is taken care of with Entei, so might as well run more special defense so we take Water Spouts in Sun a little bit better and we can snarl them down. And with that, that's the entire team, so let's look into the matchups. And look at the time, 11 minutes, so let's get into that. Alright, Simone's and Amito's team, let's look into this. So basically, let's just see the replay. Let's turn off the music, and let's go. So Geiger Tornadus lead is probably the most probable lead. If they lead with Weavile, they instantly lose because we can just U-turn it, and Weavile doesn't have Focus Sash, Urshifu has the Focus Sash, so... yeah, Weavile gives us no trouble. Alright, Tailwind now, Dragon Dot finishes off the Tornadus. We do not KO the Geiger even with a critical hit. So Ice Beam finishes off Dragon Ball. That's kind of unfortunate. Now, Groudon is the next logical choice to come in here. Rillaboom actually threatens it pretty a lot. Also, by the way, Weavile in the back for the opponent is the most logical choice, because it really just absolutely destroys Cherrim and Groudon, so... Weavile is the correct choice for the opponent to have, in my opinion. Yeah, probably should have protected this turn. Oh, wait, did I protect last turn? Oh, I should have probably protected this turn to go for a guaranteed Heat Crash next turn with me surviving the Grassy Glide. Also, this is just a win at this point, so... And Solar Blade would have very probably just simply KO'd the Weavile, especially in grassy terrain, so... Yeah, I'd stick to this game plan against Simone's and Vito's team. Alright, the mirrors are always going to be funky, as it's always the rule in this series. Entei Groudon. Actually, who is me? I'm trying to prove my point from this side. Alright, Whimsicott Groudon against Entei. Alright, so basically we just set up Tailwind and outspeed Entei, which opponent might not anticipate. So, if it comes down to the Tailwind mirrors from Whimsicott and... Actually, look at that Flower Gift, pulling all the work. If it comes down to the mirrors of Tailwind mirrors, you can just kind of go for Cotton Spore and it just doesn't really matter. If opponent has the Trick Room mode, I would probably recommend running Groudon plus Whimsicott lead. You can either taunt the stack attack or just Precipice Blaze it out of Oblivion, so... I think that's like... These are some advices for this matchup I can give out. Alright, let's get into this favorable matchup. Zacian is just simply a good matchup. It's just non-negotiable. Like, Landorus, Rillaboom doesn't really fear us. Just look at us just dealing with Landorus. It doesn't really matter. You already Immunite the Fake Out and Intimidate with Entei, so... Yeah, Grassy Glide does absolutely nothing. Sacred Fire just simply KOs Landorus, even without a critical hit. This was like 120% minimum damage dealt. Not sure why did I protect Cherrim here, because the close combat would just probably just go through. Probably wasn't paying enough attention. But okay, Entei just gets heavily damaged. Zacian is actually quite annoying in this spot, so opponent probably protects it. Yeah. Surging Strikes finishes off the Entei, which is just unfortunate. But Solar Blade should just, yeah, bring this down to Focus Sash. And now what? Whimsicott, set up Tailwind, yeah, and just deal with this later with the boost from Tailwind and just go for Groudon. And just finish this game off right now. I believe Zacian should not take the hit ever, so... I mean, we can just go for Moon Blast, make this a single target Precipice Blades. Yeah. Yeah, Delman just fails, we just still. Alright, so that's the matchup against Zacian. Very easy one, as you can see. This matchup should be theoretically easy as well, but the Delman threat from Eternatus just makes it a little bit more difficult, so watch this. Indeed, the female is also very annoying for this, so we cannot really use Entei freely against this. We'll have to use kind of like a Groudon to just kind of prove our point. Helping Hand, we outspeed Indeed anyway, so... if opponent would go for double expanding force, our Groudon would just simply outspeed it and just knock it out, so... Actually, we should have probably went for Helping Hand here, since it allowed us to just simply KO the Indeed here. Okay, Tailwind, Solar Blade, let's finish off that main shell. That Expanding Force did a lot less because it was double targeted and not in single target. Solar Blade does big damage still. And Entei should just finish this game off, so yeah. Easy game. Now, I expected Xerneas to be a little bit more in our favor, but the reality is the Xerneas can just mow this team over like very easily, so let's watch this. Landorus Among Us is also very annoying lead, since the Earth Power just kind of like, it guarantees KO on the Entei kind of, which is very annoying. Luckily, we switched correctly to Cherrim, and Entei is a much bigger threat than Groudon, so I have no doubt of opening actually targeting down the Groudon instead of the Entei. But luckily, we pivot into the Entei right now, and it should be kind of like an easy cleanup right now. Man, I wish we can take this U-turn, but we cannot. Cherrim is kind of frail. And Xerneas comes in with Fake Out threat, which is scary, I'd say. And actually, fortunately, Rillaboom cannot really fake out either of these Pokemon, so we can just kind of like get the heck out of here and just Phantom Force away. And now we're safe against the Xerneas because Phantom Force goes even through the Protect, so this is a guaranteed KO on Xerneas. Unfortunately, Xerneas can just right now just target down Entei with no remorse and no threat of it protecting. Grassy Glide doesn't finish me off, luckily, and we should finish this game off barely with Phantom Force support from the Dragapult. Alright, so that's another win. I believe I also expected this to be much more close because Groudon has naturally good matchup against Eternatus, but well, let's just see. Dragapult plus Groudon is annoying for the opponent, of course. I should have definitely went for Outrage here. Dragon Dot still does just so much. Flamethrower and a Cherrim, because clearly the Groudon is the threat. Darkest Lariat is also very annoying, so... Helping Hand, Dragon Dot just does big damage as well, here again. Incineroar survives it because it's like max defense spread I designed. It should get a lot easier in reality here, because I'm the only one running the max defense Incineroar, as I've already mentioned. Oh look, Entei, that's actually quite threatening. Flat Blade scares the Rillaboom. I believe this is gonna be a parting shot into Entei. Switch back to Eternatus, because Landorus would just feint to Helping Hand plus Flat Blitz. Incineroar comes back in. Groudon comes in. Fake Out happens in the Cherrim to finish it off because it's protected already. Sludge Bomb does respectable damage to Entei. So you can see here the matchup is kind of closer right now, but Precipice Blades is kind of completely free right now. And Eternatus doesn't protect because it usually does not carry protect. Also, this miss mattered a lot. I believe I got notes here saying something about the late game scenario not being fair. So basically, Sacred Fire plus single target Precipice Blade plus another Sacred Fire would be guaranteed knockout on Urshifu. And as you're seeing here, the Surging Strikes is only doing 30% each, so I would survive with Groudon even if the Sacred Fire would not burn. So I would take the Surging Strikes, get a single target Precipice Blades off, and then another Sacred Fire would finish off the Urshifu and allow me to win this game. Hopefully that's understandable for you, because we're getting into the counteraction section right now. Alright, so one of the most reliable counteractions to this is actually a late game Rillaboom. So if you do like 30% of Groudon, it's already screwed against the Rillaboom based on, if you run Miracle Seed, the Grassy Glide will do minimum of like 70% to it. And Groudon is usually required to take care of stuff like Incineroar, for example, on your team. Because Entei doesn't really deal with Incineroar at all. So if you can knock out the Groudon in late game with Grassy Glide, go for it. And it's kind of like cheap and easy way to deal with this. Now, the early game is much more scary, of course, so Landorus is just mostly used for this. So basically, Landorus Styrian form intimidates the Groudon. Earth Power with max special attack actually simply one-shots Entei, which is super cool. Grass Knot also greatly threatens the Groudon, so that's nice as well. And you can run something like Sludge Bomb to even threaten the Cherrim, so Grass Knot I believe doesn't even 2-hit Groudon if there is Flower Gift boost, but it still kind of sends the message to the Groudon, and especially when paired with Intimidate, if they are like Life Orb Groudon, this is just gonna work out, I think. Weavile is also very good counteraction. If you can counteract Scarf Entei, Triple Axle can completely decimate the Cherrim and Groudon in late game again. But you have to take care of these Scarf Entei. So for example, Timid Scarf or Modest Scarf Landorus in current form also deals great damage to the Entei and Groudon with Grass Knot, and Earth Power just simply outspeeds and KOs the Entei. So that's kind of cool, and it's kind of a surprise element, and it also doubles down as a good Zacian counteraction, so it's usable against some other archetypes as well, especially like Landorus is also very, of course, useful against Zacian, but it intimidates, so both of these Landori have other purposes they can fill up on their teams. Double Intimidate combo with Incineroar and Landorus can be very scary for the Groudon to deal with as well. So, and Darkest Lariat with enough attack, or I mean, actually Throat Chop is the correct move, which actually blocks Parting Shot from other Incineroars, by the way. Actually damages Dragapult pretty well as well, and Flood Blitz can just deal massive damage to Groudon if it cannot collect the Precipice Blade, so... or if it's at like -2, of course you're gonna take the Precipice Blades nicely, so... Yeah, Incineroar is also nice, and Grass Knot hurts the Groudon, plus Tailwind for Incineroar, which can suddenly outspeed Groudon, is super nice. And yeah, Tailwind plus Grass Knot is enough to sell this Pokemon to you as a Groudon counteraction. So, and Moveset of course counteracts the Dragapult, Taunt can counteract the Trick Room, which they can carry with Stack Attacker. So yeah, I think these are the best counteractions you can use against the Groudon. I personally used Landorus Styrian form a lot in my testing, so I think Landorus Styrian form is probably the best one with Rillaboom hiding in the back. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Hopefully you learned something new, and I'll catch you next time with probably Lunala team, so see ya!